like to welcome you to the May JAC meeting. And first off the agenda is the approval of the April 9th minutes. Do we have, so moved, Jerry, second? Okay, are there any corrections, additions? Okay, they stand as is. All those in favor? And I neglected to say that Dave Armstrong's not with us today, and I have his proxy. So we have 2 votes here. Okay. Facility reports, let's start with those. Jerry, you want to start us out?
Yeah, Scottsdale, everything's really growing in well. As far as the course is concerned, everything looks really good. I really appreciate the mats that are going down in the wear areas. I think that's going to really improve a lot of that play around the tee boxes and around the green areas where people are pulling off and walking up. We did that last year on the par 3 coming off the top back there, and it really made a difference there. And so we've done a lot more of that this year. Kyle's doing a great job out there. The greens are really rolling well. Really happy with those. We got that roughness out that stayed for a long time last year. We're really getting that down. A lot of comments on the greens from that standpoint. The range, I think we're going to address some things about the tee box part of it, but range is there. It's the short. I really like the short range part of it, where you can get out there and hit some short balls and not have to just fling them out into the middle of the big range. The pro shop's doing very, very, very well. Again, it's a good experience in there. Everything that they do is top notch. Megan's doing a great job with that. So overall, I'm very, very happy with it. We do have our fountain going. Appreciate Kyle getting that all back again. If we can keep the critters from chewing it up, we're good. So, that's it.
Okay. Any questions for Jerry? Not Dave?
Okay. Kingswood and Birksdale was over there again, and you know, it's always fantastic when I walk into the guys are friendly, can be in the pro shop there. They got great selection of merchandise and they're doing well with that men's and women's stuff. He says it's selling like crazy. Golf cart area is always neat and clean, easy, accessible for the golfers. So you just come in and load up and out you go. Course itself, everything's greening in like crazy now with the weather we've had and plenty of rain, and get some good sunshine here. So the playability has been excellent. So I was waiting for a great season as it's kicked off. It's here, the season's here, and they're jammed everywhere. So it's awesome.
Thank you, Dave. Brad?
So Highlands is obviously still closed, and things look like everything's growing in really well, but the pro shop looks amazing, looks extremely busy, looks like we're still getting good traffic through there, and the driving range is impeccable, so everything's looking really good.
Good. Thank you. Come on.
Tanyard. I finally get
All
to
right.
report on Tanyard, which I've been down there. It's wonderful. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. They're busy, very busy. When I go, I'm sometimes waiting, which is great. That's a lot of balls. I was told that they're running maybe like 17,000 a night off the little guys, our little robot guys, and occasionally they get hung up. But I don't know if you guys are working on that. I think you are. Okay. Bar and Grill's doing wonderful. The Grips, he's doing like a 48-hour turnaround, which kind of helps his customer service, and it could be done sooner occasionally. Let's see, what else was I going to tell you? We had an email about the trash cans, and that's taken care of, right? Okay, that was my other thing I was going to ask you about. Yeah. So I think her teaching and everything right there is going really well. I'm very happy with it. The simulator, she said it's not very busy during the week. It's all on the weekends. But aren't you? I'm kind of considering maybe during the winter it might pick up some.
Or rainy weather.
Yeah, rainy weather. Yes.
Yeah, cold, rainy.
Yeah.
I'd rather people be out on the golf course playing golf and then they use that in the rainy weather or will be utilized. It is utilized. If you have a look at the rounds, we've got 108 bookings. That's just AT time. You can times that by 6. So that's how many people have been playing on that thing just for the month of April.
Great.
Do you have an opportunity to email Stephanie and tell her that the garbage cans have been taken care of?
I will do that. I was gonna just
Okay.
double check tonight, and thank you
Appreciate
so
that,
much for
she knows
taking
that
care
you
of that.
took
Yes.
care of it, so
Thank you.
appreciate that. Jim?
Okay, I have the country club and played here today. People very friendly in the golf shop. Looks great. Always looks great to me. It's kind of the model, I think, for Bella Vista. Did have some concerns today. The greens seemed kind of bumpy to me. I don't know if any other people experienced that played today, but I thought they were a little bit. I think there's a lot of marks on them that aren't getting repaired, and not much we can do about that really. The collars, I'm pretty concerned about because 2 feet off ought to be able to putt. It's hard to putt because there's just all these clumps of grass growing. And it's very difficult. The collars at Scottsdale, model collars. I wish they all looked like that. But here, they're just tough. I mean, I would normally putt those, and it's hard to go through that. And the bunker on 18, I got in that back right bunker. Thing has rocks in it this big around. And lots of little ones. So that needs to definitely be addressed. I mean, it's, if you hit one of those, you don't see it, and you're going to be looking for another club. It looks like things are starting to grow. I know Graham mentioned, I think, that we haven't really hit that mark yet where stuff is really growing, but I look forward to that because I think the fairways could use some more growth. Seem a little thin in some places to me.
Thank you, Jim. Clay?
Okay, I have Dogwood. Dogwood's in pretty good shape. They've got a lot of rain over that way. I played on it after they had 3 inches of rain, and it's got pretty good drainage. So they've worked most of those spots very well. Couple of things, driving range. So there really isn't a driving range. There's some nets there. Some of the stanchions, so that's the wires holding it to keep it square, have come disconnected. So we pointed that out to Jimmy. I think he's working on that.
Okay.
Sand on the par 3s is the big thing for me. I've reported this over and over the winter that they don't support sand on the par 3s by the tee boxes at Dogwood, and they get hacked up. You know, someone's putting sand down there every once in a while, but there's just nothing easy for people to do with sand there. But as far as the course goes, it's good. The staff, I guess the staff everywhere is very friendly, but to me at Dogwood, they're exceptional. So really no major complaints there at Dogwood.
Okay. Thank you. Any other course information? Graham, any questions or anything?
Maybe okay, so the sand on the par 3s, I did check in with Scott, he's our superintendent over there. He had mentioned that he has his staff go out there and fill divots, but you're saying maybe not enough.
No
We're not-
buckets.
Well, I understand that. So in lieu of having sand out there, something we have to move, mow around, all that, trim around, he is taking it upon himself to try to maintain the.
Courses go, it's better. Dogwood is better being maintained, but it should be self-maintained, right? When people take a shot and just quickly fix it.
Well, it goes back to the ball mark issue. I mean, obviously, we would love to think that, but you know, it doesn't always happen. And so I'll talk with Scott a little bit more about that and see if that's something we can look at getting. So.
Anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
Say one thing. So I went to Tanyard this morning. It was closed for maintenance, which is fine, but I went over to the chipping green, and the fringe there is the same as it is on the course. I mean, it's a brand new facility.
So it's Poania is what that is, right? It's a winter weed, annual, comes around every winter, and then it dies when it gets hot. We have bent grass greens, so you can only get so close to those with herbicide. You might notice at Scottsdale we have Bermuda greens, and we can spray the same herbicide we would kill Poania on the greens as we would on the collar right next to it. Makes a difference, right? So we're exploring options to try to get rid of the Poania, but also make sure we don't kill our greens.
Yeah.
And that's the issue on all the bent grass golf courses.
Yeah.
So,
If I could say one more thing, the course here, number 2, there's the cart path goes right next by the tee box, but there's some timber that's right there, acts as a border. Well, it's rotted out. 2 weeks ago, there were still some of the metal stakes that were sticking out. The timber was gone, but the metal stakes were there, so that's somewhat of a safety hazard. But that could all be replaced, and it shouldn't be a major effort there. That's it for me, sorry.
Anything else? Okay, moving on. Graham, with the report?
all right, so one thing I don't have in my report that I sent out, but I wanted to make sure everyone's aware, May 27th to 28th, Scottsdale and Brittany will be aerified the greens. Just something to put on the calendar. It's going to be in the golf update as well.
I just want to jump in there too. That pro shop will not be open on those days. So last year when we did the 2 days of closing for the aeration, we monitored the amount of foots. We tried to do a sale for that, but we literally sold $13 worth of stuff in 2 days. It cost me more to have staff sitting there. So we made a business decision that during that we will have a shutdown. We're going to put it out in the golf update this week, reminding everybody during those 2 days we're going to do it, give our staff some rest, and then go from there. Okay.
Our second pre-emergent application, so goosegrass has, at least this past summer, and talking with the superintendents, historically been an issue here. That's a summer annual that can get really bad too. So we have a product that we can apply near our bent grass greens for that particular weed, and we're going to make additional applications on those 2 golf courses where we noticed a big issue last summer to try to help with that. So that's the summer weed that's almost just as bad as Poania, that also is right up in the collars and around the greens in some areas on the fairway. So that's an issue we're trying to take care of this year, that we, something we did not do last year. So far, we've, and really overall, we think we're going to get out of what we actually have to sod with about 4 truckloads of grass this year, which was a huge improvement over last year. If you guys remember, we had to sod, it was over 20 trucks, over $200,000 in winter kill repair, which we don't think we have this year. Yeah, we have some thin stuff here and there that we're going to fertilize through. There's going to be a little bit of sod work we have to do in some collars, some small areas, but overall, really happy with how we came out of this winter. I think, you can't necessarily attribute to any one thing. I would say maybe most favorable was that we had a heavy snow cover ahead of every real cold snap we had, and so I think maybe that was the difference. I don't know. We did do a lot of different things. We did fertilizer in the fall, some fertilizer in the spring. We did the colorants this winter. I don't know if you can really point to one thing, but certainly we came through this winter a little bit better than last year. April, we had 18 inches of rain. I think it was one of the wettest in history. Only had minor flooding. I think some of that was just how dry it was leading into that, but a little bit of cleanup with that, but nothing major. As Jerry said, we're putting track mats down, Scottsdale, Kingswood, Country Club, just to address those high traffic areas. We think we can make an improvement with that product. And then we're working on improving green speed, trueness, and smoothness everywhere. It's really been a focus. We bought a tool that helps us track that data. We're getting after measuring, and then we're making adjustments to what we do to the grass to try to improve all those conditions. And that's one thing, certainly I think you guys will see continue to trend in the right direction as we move through the growing season. Similar to last year, I think we had pretty good conditions, especially as the later it got in the growing season. I think you guys will see that a little earlier this year, and then hopefully consistently good is what we're going for. Scottsdale Driving Range, see a tough winter on that, with no mats down there. We are exploring some options to fix that. That's really all I can share with that on that right now. Highland Zoysia conversion, we planted in March. Didn't really know if that was the perfect time. Looking back and really thinking about that, where we are today, if we had planted in April, we certainly wouldn't be where we are today with the amount of zoysia grass that we have ready to begin growing and spreading. So I don't know. I think I really want to get through this whole growing and then try to, make a determination on what we did well and if there would be any changes in the future, should we do this again. Anyways, right now, we've got about 12 weeks left in the expected grow-in window. End of July is kind of when we thought we would be able to open, so another 12 weeks, and certainly the majority of those weeks are going to be really good growing weather. So I think we're in great shape. Very pleased with how that's going right now. You guys can see that picture I've got there. So you can see a lot of small zoysia grass plants, right? And so what'll happen over time, and with good growing weather, is those will get large, and then they'll start moving laterally and filling in all that open space. Kind of similar. I mean, you guys, it's going to be very similar to last year in 18. If you guys followed that progress very closely, you're looking out there, you're like, man, this isn't doing anything. Did it work? You know, all those question marks, and then all of a sudden you got a lot of grass, and then next thing you know, it's almost 100% full. So I think you're going to see something very similar to that this year. Next picture, you can actually see, I thought this was a cool picture I took a couple days ago. The zoysia grass, actually, you can see on the right-hand side, there's a lateral stem. So it's already beginning to spread, which is still pretty cool weather. I think we're beginning to already see some nice changes there. I talked to you guys about, I think it came up in this committee meeting, why didn't you guys plant the tees as well? Well, we didn't think that Meyer would be able to stand up to the traffic on tees. So we found one of the zoysia grasses we planted up at Highlands last summer. We really liked. It's called Stadium. It's very aggressive, a little bit finer bladed than Meyer. And from talking to people, this grass grows in by sprig in about 8 to 10 weeks versus 16 weeks with Meyer. So thought it'd be a good opportunity, put it on a couple tee boxes and kind of monitor that and see how it does when we open up and all those things, see how it grows in. So on May 6th, we planted sod to sprig. We went twice over on number 13 and 16 tee complexes. So pick the par 3 tee, pick the shaded tee, and kind of want to see how that does there. So we'll see. We expect it to grow in. If the timeline we heard is right, we should be 100% grown in by the time we are ready to open the fairways. And so that would be a cool thing to see as maybe another option for us as we go forward. And that is my report. Any questions? Yes.
It's not really a question, it's a comment. I played Kingswood today, and I love the logo out for the gold tee box with the little Kingswood,
The new logo.
The new logo on it.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be on all the courses like that, or are you gonna leave the other ones kind of like the way they are? Or you're gonna redo a lot of them, right, because they're hardly seeable?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I think we do that once or twice a year, repaint. You're talking about
Yeah.
on the cart pass?
Right.
Where the PIF?
We do it twice a year.
Twice a year.
Okay, and I think people are getting a little better about not just standing in the same place, teeing off constantly. I mean, I play all of their courses with gold, and they got the little, and they move them, and we're stagnant, we're right there. And so I've been moving back to hit my tee shots and getting a flatter surface, but it's just getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
Well, Daryl brought up a good point. He said 2 club lengths from those things anywhere around them, right?
I've been
So-
suggesting it, but you just can't change every dog. There's no tricks out there. Go ahead.
Graham, if the tee experiment works on 13 and 16, what's the plan to do the rest of the tees?
I would have to, make a proposal, and probably do something like all the back tees, and we'd have to move some tee markers around because we would be doing something like that while we're open. So we'd have to get creative there. That's something that we'd have to look at around budget time and see if we could get it approved, if it works well. So,
Jim?
So it's not in the budget now, we have to be put in the budget.
not to do all the rest of the tees. This is more of a test.
I'd just like to tell Graham, I appreciate that you're willing to try things and that you always address things that we bring up. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else for Graham?
One question. You say you're collecting a lot of data on the green softness and the rollability and everything. Is that data available?
I could share it with you, Clay, if you'd like to see it.
I'm just
I've
gonna
got graphs.
There's lots of graphs.
I've got graphs.
It's graphs.
Okay.
I've got, yeah, in fact, there's I think some of this stuff is, it is interesting to some people. There's been some people that reached out. If you'd like to know any numbers, I'm happy to share them with you. Sure.
Okay.
gotta understand, he's an engineer. I'm an artist, I could care less.
Well, one artist with those graphs, it can be pretty, abstract art.
That's what you look for, right, Jim? Anything else? Thanks, Graham, we appreciate it. Darrell?
All right, we're gonna look at rounds for the end of April. We ended at 16,428, down 3,000 over last April. We had 6 days of flooding. Right there was 6 days we were closed, we didn't open. And when we opened, we were all busy. Memberships rounds were down 2,000, guest rounds were down 2,119. Year to date, we had 41,000. We're down 8,000 year to date. Most of that was done in the cold months. In fact, I just ran my forecast for May, and if we continue what we're doing in May, we're going to be over last year's May by 3,000 rounds. So when we open, we are busy, and that's with the course down. So I had a lot of people today. I made the mistake of walking outside during a shotgun here at Country Club, and everyone's like, there's 36 teams in the shotgun. I said, yes, there's 36 teams in the shotgun. Well, that's crazy. I said, do you want to move? Well, no, I want to play golf. Okay, we got to play golf. I know it's something we've all got to do together and bear together. We had people coming off the course at 4 hours and 10 minutes. We had some people coming off at 4 hours and 40 minutes. But it's the driving and the unloading and the socializing. It's a good place to play golf, and that's where it is. So just bear with us as we get through this. As I said, we 8,300 down year to date. Member rounds are down 5,600, and guests are down 2,600. And that's mainly due to the cold winter and the wet month in April. Range buckets are trending up. We only up by 95 over last year, but that's just because Tanya Creek just opened. So if you take the month of April, we're 2,300 over the month of April from last year. We are picking between 17,000 and 18,000 balls a day in the little machines that are going around. We do have a little bit of a GPS every now and then when there's a lightning storm or something. The GPS gets kind of confused, and they end up taking a smoke break, and they sit there and they wait. But we catch up with it, and we get to roll. But I'm going to tell you, those little things work hard, and they don't stop, and we have more people commenting about it, and I've had more people coming to look at it from other golf courses to see what we're doing and how it's working. The biggest thing, too, and I want to point this out, and I think it needs to be addressed or publicized, that those little pickers will go around and they're working the whole time. They are not damaging the grass. You take our old picker with the front end loader with all the 8 buckets up and the turning, and my staff taking out the flagpoles and all this type of stuff and turning, it just rips it all up. The turf that we have out there is still looking fantastic, and they work all day and all night. So that's why we went to those things. The only thing is if it does rain with the new turf, the turf is so good the balls do plug. So we had a member come in and go, well, the old Tanya Creek, we never used to shut down when it used to have 2 inches of rain. Well, it wanted the 2 inches of rain, and there was no grass to plug. It would bounce. Anyway, so it was hard as a rock. We have a better product. We're going to look after it. I just want to point that out there, but we always advertise on the golf update. Not the update, the today's play. Look on today's play under Tanya, Highland, Scottsdale. It will say what the Rangers are doing. So today we had our maintenance day. Every Wednesday at 8 o'clock we do maintenance, clean pick, do some stuff we need to take care of. Look on there and you can have a look what it's opening. If we have a torrential rainstorm that comes through and it starts to form puddles, we can't operate, you'll see the update. We are on it within 5 minutes, and you can see what's happening at Tanya Creek and all the ranges. So use the today's play, and that's what's happening on that day. It's super important. That's my report as far as rounds. Any questions on that? I want to share a cool little story. It just happened.
17,000 is tenured only?
Yes, 17 to 18,000 balls. Last year we used to average around 100 to 130 buckets. Right now we have 224 to 240 buckets. It's busy. It's a lot of business. We got at the gallery. Yes, sir.
You talk about the ball picking robots. I've watched them work. Could you do a video of them coming up and dumping their load?
Sure. We
put it on the golf.
Okay, I like that idea.
It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
It is. It is. Yes.
like laying eggs.
I'll get Tim from marketing to come over and do it, and we talked about putting a camera on it and everything, and then I've watched all the membership trying to hit them. I'm like, no, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea, so we're gonna go on, but that's a good idea. I'll get Tim, get marketing to come by and just do a kind of a recap on what we're doing, but it is super exciting. The biggest thing, I was just down at First Tee, an hour ago, 2 hours ago, and they approached me straight away and says, we want to come and watch those things. Give me stats, give me money. I want bidding on that. That is the best thing. He says, because they can't get people to come and work out there. And I'm like, well, these people show up every day. I mean, they take a 30-minute break every now and then, but they're going to recharge and off they go, and they work all night. So, but no, it's pretty exciting. Any other news? Any other questions for me? Yes. Yeah.
We're able to do on the grass now, so that's nice. But somebody brought it to my attention that we have to, there's a sign that says to walk around or whatever on those outside bays and the space of the concrete.
Concrete's for the golfers.
Okay.
So that, and we'll be talking about with the board, the concrete's for the golfers. It's not a walkway. That's for the golfers to set up where the mats are. Walk on the grass. The grass has got a 3 to 4 foot before the fringe. That's where you're meant to walk. But we're addressing with the board, maybe looking at extending a path a little bit. But concrete was never for a walkway. It's walk on the grass is what is meant to be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
One quick thing, out of all those balls, how many of those are paying customers where they're actually paying for those buckets? We have a breakdown on that?
I do not have a breakdown. It is, I would say 90% of it is membership. Roughly, you can see. We did increase the bucket price of balls to $10. So some of our guests stayed away on that. But if you go down the road, it's $15. So we still a very good bargain coming in there. I have noticed one thing that's really cool, and it happened yesterday. I don't know if it was really a cool thing because I was trying to give a lesson and I had a peanut gallery sitting there drinking beer watching me give a lesson. So what I'm seeing is when people get done playing golf at Country Club, some come up here, which is great, and a lot of them just head down that way and they set up and they sit down and they enjoy what we have. And I'm super proud of that. That's what we're about, is just enjoying what we have, and it's really good. And that, I didn't mean to make fun of the people sitting there. They know who they were. Okay. So Jerry was down there, but no, it's really good. It's a very social place, and people are loving it. So, and you'll see if you go have a look in there, I am working on the carpet in the full swing. We had a transition issue from full swing. We had to bring the floor up a bit. I'm waiting for it to be sealed off from a carpet manufacturer, and they should be in next week. So they're little things that we're getting tweaked and figured out at Canyon Creek.
Any date which will have holes in the green?
That is not my department, sir. If you could shoot the gentleman an email, he'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll have to, we're waiting on Reed to give us he's comfortable there. I think in the next short amount of time, we're gonna be ready to open that.
All right, I got one. Yes, Clay.
I'm not sure you're gonna cover education next, but is there a chance you can give us like an update on the number of lessons that are being given, when the classes are starting, the 365 and all that?
He's on top of it. That's coming next, yes. He's coming next on that. So I got one more thing I want to say. If any of you have been around a while, Northwest Arkansas PGA chapter, we started a PGA Hope program. PGA Hope is a volunteer system for disabled veterans. We've got 3 of us. I'm one of them, another gentleman down in Shadow Valley, and another one from Paradise. Went to school to teach veterans how to play golf, get them out of their homes, get them in good places. And we started that 4 years ago. And it's very humbling, working with disabled vets. It's made me realize that life is way more important than the emails I get complaining about pin placements or not having water on a golf course. These guys go through a lot of tough times in their life. Well, today, it's every Wednesday they do a 2-month program and then they graduate. We have the graduation on Birksdale. They get these PGA cards where they can go to places and get discounts on rounds, and it's a great little community. And then this weekend they have the PGA Championships, and there's a PGA Hope tournament where some of our players that are qualified, they go through the qualifying, and they will get to play 9 holes in Quail this weekend and have a little competition. It's really cool. But today something happened out of nowhere. we were sitting, we got 18 people in in this class this time, and while we were getting ready, this gentleman walked in. He's a Bella Vista member, George. He comes in, and he's a graduate from 2.5 years ago. He walks in carrying his golf bag. We're like, George, what are you doing here? You've already graduated. He goes, well, I just want some time. I said, what do you want? He said, I want to talk to these people. So he comes in, and I said, sure, there we go. He sits down, puts his bag, and he just starts talking to the rest of the veterans. He goes, talking about how he was in a bad place and how this brought him out. He is now an annual member. He plays 4 days a week. His wife plays 5 days a week. Got him a new set of golf clubs from us. But before that, he did a deal or study or whatever and got through the soldiers program of golf a free set of golf clubs. And he was bringing them today to give them to another one of the graduates because he could have sold them. I mean, they're tailor-made M2s, a little old, but they were in great condition. He says, I could have sold it, but I want to pass it forward. And he kind of looked at me and says, who needs clubs? And I pointed at this gentleman who just come back from Iran. And he's gone through some tough times, doesn't have any clubs, and he's just taken to golf. And he goes, well, I want to present this to Stephen. And this guy got up, and it looked like he had won $1 million. This guy's eyes just got big. He's like, are you kidding me? I got something? And so we handed it to him. George was very proud. We got a little video of it, and we sent him on his way. And the Stephen guy was out there. First of all, while we were setting up, he's looking at his clubs, and he was just, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve this? This is awesome. He used some other language I'm not going to say right now, but he was pumped. So we got him hitting his new clubs. But that's something from a program that we've started that everyone passes forward. So it's very humbling today, but I just wanted to share with everybody that we're doing good things in golf in Northwest Arkansas, not only here in Bella Vista, across the community. So
is this program US-wide?
US-wide, yes. But they have it down in Tulsa, and we decided to start up in Northwest Arkansas, and it's free for the veterans. So they come in free. I mean, we have all sorts, just everything from blind. We got a lady that's blind that we're teaching to play golf, and she can hit a ball, and it's fantastic. So it's really cool. So appreciate it. That's all I got to say. So it was a great day today.
Thank you, Daryl. Alex?
All right. We'll start with our programming. Our Folds of Honor tournament was on Saturday, May the 3rd at Scottsdale. It was a great day for the event. We had a full field. Everything went well, raised a lot of good money, so we're really starting off our tournament season pretty well. Coming up next, there's the couples mixer. That's May the 23rd, 24th, and 25th at Dogwood. Plenty of spots still available for that if anybody has any interest in it. And beyond that, we just opened registration for the 3-person tournament on June the 7th and 8th. That's also at Dogwood. That's kind of a mixed, kind of a scramble / Lone Ranger type of format. So something a little different, but those two are ready to sign up at any time. Coming soon, we'll get out the Alzheimer's Golf Classic. That's at Kingswood on June the 21st, and followed by the Parent-Child Championship at the Brittany course on Saturday, June the 28th. And that's the upcoming events. For like all of our Operation 36 and things like that, our spring sessions are starting to wind down. We're just a couple of weeks from completing those. Summer programming for men's Op 36, ladies Op 36, juniors, men's golf and gulp. Those are all starting in early June. You'll see all that information out in our golf update, and we're taking registration for that. So those are coming. We do have some Futures Academy update. Hannah over at Tanyard has been working on the Futures Academy. The program's going to launch next Friday, the 23rd. We've got our marketing team kind of assisting us and helping us promote it. We're going to start promotion with just our golf update. As time goes by, we're going to get a dedicated website, some information on Facebook page and an Instagram page. So all of that is coming. We've taken the Futures Academy logo. I think we saw that in a meeting here a few months back. That's been placed on all of our current junior offerings. So our junior camp and junior Op 36, that's all kind of lumped together to kind of be in with that Futures Academy, since it's all kind of going in the same direction for junior golf. But our first wave of registration that will start on the 23rd, we're going to have intro to golf classes. That's going to be for juniors 6 to 18. That starts on June the 21st. It's a 4-week program, June 21st through July 19th. and that's 5 weeks, but it's only 4 weeks. She's skipping the week of the 4th. And we also have the Toddlers and Tees program that she brought up for kids age 3 to 5. The same days, June the 21st through July the 19th, 4-week program. So those are going to be getting together here real soon. She's got the Bentonville Girls High School programs. Going to start a little development program with her beginning on June the 3rd. So that's coming around. And also for that Futures Academy, she's got the scholarship program currently working. She's got an application all together for this. It's going to be for any senior at a high school in Northwest Arkansas. They must have played on a high school golf team, met a GPA requirement, proved that they were, involved in extracurricular activities and some volunteering and things like that, to be awarded the scholarship program through the Futures Academy. And she's also got a brand ambassador program working for just promotion of the academy. Get a young golfer that's playing in some events, get them, the logo on their golf bag, give them a hat, give them a shirt to wear as a ambassador for the Futures Cup program. So all that is rolling and really, really starting to get going. So we're really excited about all the things that she has going with that. Happy to answer any questions on anything like that.
Are you looking for corporate sponsors?
I would have to ask Hannah that. I don't honestly know what she's been.
We, yes and no. Futures Cup has been so generous to us, and David Armstrong and the crew, and a couple of you playing that. We kind of want to see how we go on this. Right now, we're not looking for major corporate sponsors. We don't want to overshadow what the Futures Cup has done and provided for us for the past years in growing our junior golf. But I'm always up for the discussions to see where we're going with that. So if you got anything, just sidebar me and we'll go from there, okay? Thank you.
Any other questions for Alex? Okay, it appears that Summer's ready to roll. Okay, Tom?
For those at home, if you have a ballot and you have not yet cast your ballot for the board of directors, please do so. We're trending a little bit lower than we normally do, and we always like as much participation as possible. So grab that ballot, get it filled out, send it in right away. The annual meeting is next Tuesday at 6 p.m. It's here, right? Yeah, it's here. Here. That's all I had to cover.
Any questions for Tom? If not, about board? Jerry, Dave?
No. I was excited to see that the potholes on Scottsdale and Dogwood got cold patch. It's a great improvement. With all the rain we had in April, sometimes you felt like you need pontoons to get through them. But I believe in driving through the water rather than around the water, so I'm glad to see him get filled.
Jessica, do we have any emails? No emails? Kyle, do you have anything you want to report to us? No, okay. Let's go to old business then. You have in front of you a Joint Advisory Committee monthly facilities tour. This was put together by Jeff Hendren and Mike Houston about 2 years ago or a year and a half ago with Daryl at that time. And we wanted to make it uniform and to give somebody a place to start, and hope we covered it. But there are some questions. Clayton, I'm going to let you go ahead. Concerns?
Okay, someone mentioned that I was an engineer earlier. A good control system has positive and negative feedback. And what I'm seeing in these meetings is positive feedback on everything. And yes, we have good people, we have good courses, a lot of great things here. But I don't think there's enough criticism of the courses. And I think this form is really good for rubber stamping. Yes, things are good. I think we ought to be able to have an attachment that shows a picture. So if you see something that's degrading on the course, you should be able to just click a picture and have it as part of your report. And that way, when the course pro or the maintenance manager looks at it, they go, I see what they mean, instead of, hole 13, is that on the left side or the right side? I mean, you got a picture, it's easy to get from a phone It's easy to paste into a report, so at the very least, we should do that. And I think for most people, if you put in 2 or 3 positive or kudos, you ought to have 1 or 2 areas for improvement for the course. And they may be small, but unless we're actively looking for ways to improve, we're gonna get stagnant. So that's my input on this. It's not a bad form, but I think we should have the ability to put more information and definitely to have attachments, which would be pictures.
Yes. Comments? Jim?
I mean, so you'd like to see this as an online thing, or an electronic form that we could fill out, attach pictures to it, and then send it to Ruth, or what's your?
It doesn't need to be an app where you fill in information. So if people have this as a template that they can attach pictures. So if this is a Word document, I can have it on my computer and I can import a picture from my phone. That's pretty easy. And that would just go along with the report. So that's what I'm looking for.
Other comments?
I mean, right on the report, it says if you got an issue, who did you report it to? If you have a picture, take a picture and show it to them. I think we want to keep it short and sweet and simple. We don't want to get too involved with this. It says right on here, if you've got an issue, explain, what the issue is and who did you report the issue to, and you've got it on there, names and numbers, so I don't know if we want to reinvent the wheel.
As we talked today about the facilities, there were several things that came up that said, this was a concern, I reported so-and-so, and it was taken care of. And I think that's, in my estimation, what we were looking for, is don't wait a month until the next meeting and bring it up the next meeting, is let's take care of things as they happen. Am I correct on that thinking for the rest of you?
Yeah, I remember I was part of I sat and witnessed this, and that was one thing we used to, I've been around a while. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, sorry, Tom, a long time. But our old one was, we would only find out things a month later, or depending on the JSC committee who was in charge, whether they went the first part of the month and then were out of town, and then we come around and things were bad. So that's why the gentleman that did this, it was a group discussion, went into, if you see something, say something. And that's kind of, we got on all our golf course, nothing against Clay. I agree, you want to put pictures, or like we discussed right now, bring it. I've got nothing about that. But if I know in my pro shop I have a hanger that's falling down, or ripped shirts, or drip in the ceiling, we need to know right then and there. And that's why this form was formatted right there. But in the past, we never used to find out things until we got here, and then we're like, oh my goodness, we could see it, because I don't have eyes everywhere and everyone on my 7 pro shops. So that's why this was formed. But that's kind of where it is. See something, say something. We heard about the trash at Tanya Creek on Sunday afternoon. It was fixed on Monday afternoon. Trash cans were put out, picked up, and monitored more. What it was, the wind blew them all over and the rain, so we moved them in and forgot to put them back out. So, but that was addressed immediately, and that's the way I feel it should go. But that's your decisions, it's your reports.
There's comments. I like the idea of taking pictures so that the person in the pro shop or the person on the course, or Graham, knows what's going on. And so, I mean, that's not a problem at all. But I hesitate to think they need to come through me. I think that should be between the facilitator of that course and whoever's reviewing the course. I mean, it doesn't hurt that I see it, but I think that's the first step. That, and a couple other things I was made aware of, and we checked on theirs, and those were taken care of immediately too. And as I said, as I noticed it come around, there were several things brought up today that were already taken care of or in the action of taking care of. Any other comments? Do we need to change it in any way? Kimberly?
Well, just today I walked in and here's, a bunch of people loading their golf carts right here in our restaurant area, and I'm out there taking pictures and I'm sliding them off to, it's like, here we go again.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's constant. If I directly ask something to them, they tell me it doesn't apply to them, so there you go. Just saying.
Is there anything? Is there anything we see that needs to be changed on here in particular? Brad?
No, you know, and I understand what you're saying, and I agree. There's always room for improvement. I think the form, it does offer areas where you can say, nope, there's a poor spot, here's what we did. I love the idea of adding pictures. I think that's great, but I think it's in the moment. Do it then and send it off to Graham or whoever the facility manager is.
I think the report also can act as a follow-up mechanism, because a lot of times you might report something and you don't ever know if it ever got done. So following up at the JAG meetings, report what you have reported, maybe you'll know if it got done or not. So I think it's a good idea.
Anything else? Should we let us, do you have a question?
I just want to, you know, there's the same word is used twice, and I think it's a critical word. Talks about the pro shop experience and the overall golf course experience. This is, you're the eyes of the customer. We don't expect you to go onto a green and diagnose that it's Pythium or something like that. That's, you know, we want you to say, hey, we got a problem on the green and we have, you know, it doesn't look right. So we want you to focus on the overall experience and not, you know, that fine line between providing us information and micromanaging management. And I like how this is written because it focuses in on the experience.
Okay, so if there are no objections, we'll stand as it is and work with it, but let's go ahead.
Yeah, this isn't an objection, and I'm all for groups, but let's go through cart paths that have bumps in them or potholes. So we know that there's problems with some of the cart paths, but we also know it's expensive and that the roots of the trees aren't there. So how do we keep that as something that's an active investigation instead of just going, oh, we'll worry about cart paths next year?
If it's a safety issue, it should be reported immediately. I mean, if a cart path is a safety issue, it should be reported immediately, or something else that comes up should be reported immediately. It doesn't hurt to say there are certain areas and identify the areas that cart paths are not in ideal shape. But you're absolutely right. It's expensive, and we know that they're not going to be, just because you report it, it's not going to be fixed by next week.
Yeah, we try, you know, all of the management team knows what we preach is when items come up in any of the committees, we try and address the easy ones as quickly as possible, because that demonstrates that we heard you, we listened to you, and we tried to get it done as quickly as possible. I'm gonna use an example. At the rec committee meeting, one of our members brought up something, and Rick got his staff out there and within 24 hours had the problem rectified. We do that because we want to make sure that the committee knows that we're listening and we take their points of concern seriously. But we also do it quickly because we know that also gains us grace when things take longer. And that way we can go to the committee and say, look, we got these things done really quickly, but this is going to take time. You know, we all know that the cart paths are an issue, but the committee discussed it, and we decided we were going to go with the fairways instead of the cart paths. Not everybody agreed, so you know, I don't have a problem if you reference this is an ongoing issue, as long as we have an understanding that it's going to stay on there for a little while until we get to the next budget cycle. I mean, Gary brought up about the tee boxes. You know, Graham's doing the experiment, but we're not, you know, if we do a full-fledged project, it's not going to be till the next budget cycle. It's going to have to come in front of this committee. It's going to have to get approved, and it's going to have to go in front of the board. So I don't have any problem with Graham experimenting on a small scale, but a large scale, that's gotta go through the standard process.
Any others? Jim?
I kind of feel like I get an education in here in some ways, because the thing I brought up about the collars, I didn't know we couldn't spray that and get rid of it and not kill the greens. Now I understand that, so I'm probably not gonna bring it up again. Now, in 2 months, if the hot weather doesn't take care of it, I'm wondering why. Because it sounds like the hot weather will kill that stuff.
It'll be gone.
Okay. But
I hope there's nothing to take its place, that's what we want.
Yeah, I'd go out there and probably spray stuff and kill the greens, because I don't know any different.
Well, and
He does, and that's, that's good for us, because I don't have the education in how to grow grass.
But if you're questioning, other people are questioning it too on the outside, and this is a place to get the truth and get the facts.
Now, if somebody says something to me, I can say, oh, this is, it's gonna take care of
I say,
itself.
gee, how'd you get so smart overnight?
Exactly.
And we get a lot of similar questions in the spring, right? There's a lot of these same questions, because it's been hot for a week, and the grass isn't growing yet. So people are like, it's hot, it's 88 degrees today, and so it's like, oh, the grass should be growing. No, it's been hot for like a couple of days. And so we just have to give nature a little time to let it run its course, and a lot of these concerns are gonna be gone within a couple months, because that's nature. And so Graham fields the same questions every spring, and it's like, just really give me a little time, just give me a little time.
Last spring, it was much different questions, like, why is all of Highlands dead? Stuff like that. So.
Okay, any other questions? Any other comments? If not, let's move on. Committee terms, Gary Mertz has been graciously blessing us with his company for 6 years now, and he decided it's time for him to have other interests and move on, so he is not interested in moving forward. But we do appreciate everything you've done, Gary, and we appreciate you being with us for the 6 years, and we'll give you a little more glory in the next month and all that good stuff.
You're gonna have to find a treasurer, or
We're gonna have to find us a secretary. You're absolutely right about that. Dave Armstrong.
One of these gentlemen, I'm sure, is gonna volunteer.
Dave Armstrong and Jerry Foster, their first 3-year term ends, and they have both agreed to put their name in for another 3 years, and both of them have said that it was okay if we went ahead and voted. Is that correct, Jerry? Yes. That's what I thought was correct. So Dave Armstrong is not here. I do have his proxy, and we did talk about this. I can vote on Jerry, but I can't vote on Dave. That's what he told me. So that's the way we'll move to that. So first off, if somebody will put Dave's name in for a possible 3-year term. A second? Okay, any questions or concerns? All those in favor of Dave Armstrong for another 3 years?
I mean, he's a secretary.
What? No. Oh, he's not here, I heard that, yeah. Okay, Jerry Foster, somebody put his name in? Okay, second? Okay, any questions or concerns? All those for Jerry for another 3-year term. And I have Dave's vote on that as well. Okay, so that means that we have one open position. So can that be so noted in the email or blast or someplace? Okay. Okay. Congratulations, Jerry. We look forward to having you another 3 years. And as we talked, the board on April meeting voted for a consistent way of going for new members and put it all together, and also remove the 2-term limit. And I did talk to Gary about that before, so Gary was eligible for another 3 years if he chose, but he chose not to. So that is off. So it's on the board minutes from last month.
Yeah, the main changes in the procedure, you can serve more than 6 years, but for new members, we're gonna invite them to interview with the board, the committee. The interview doesn't need to be more than, it can be 5-10 minutes, that's as long as it needs to be. But you will vote on it, the chairperson will initiate an email vote. That way, the person comes in to interview and you guys are sitting there and you vote in front of your fellow neighbor, and maybe you don't want to vote for that person, but you feel compelled to, so they're here. So that voting will take place via email vote. It still has to go in front of the board of directors. They still have to approve it. So just a little bit of a change. All this information is available on our website, policy 1.04. If you're really a nerd and you can't sleep at night, go for it, go read through that. But we sought input from all three chairpersons to get improvements on how we can do the process better.
And it's consistent with all three committees.
It's consistent with all all committees. That was a kind of a sticking point where we didn't give the committees really any guidance, and so they were doing their own thing. And in some cases, well, we had a situation where one committee had 3 or 4 people come in, interview, and then they voted, and then 2 of them were sitting there and got rejected. And I was like, okay, we got to make that we're not doing that again. And we had another situation where one of the candidates, volunteers, was not notified in a timely manner that they had not been selected. So we made lessons learned, uniform it out, and so I think we have a much better way of doing things now.
Is the application on the web?
And you can get it from Jessica, and we changed the application also. We have more questions. We have 3 questions. And we made it a little bit more streamlined. It's still 1 page, but try to get more substance out of the application. That was another issue, is some of the committee chairpersons were asking for resumes, and some of these people are like, hey, I haven't worked in 20 years, I don't have a resume. And so we had people writing up resumes and so forth. So it's all down to 1 page, nice and easy. Everybody uses the same thing. So I think the changes that were initiated by the Rules and Regulations Committee were just spot on.
Okay, all right, so we have 1 available opening. Any other new business that I'm not aware of? If not, our next golf meeting will be Wednesday, June 11th, right here in the boardroom at 4 o'clock. We stand adjourned.